Hi.
Good morning.
Greetings. Salutations. I must express my regret to you guys that we have a small problem. The meeting you requested, or I said I might be able to come up with, has been totally trashed on a computer that is unrecoverable. Sorry.
Well, thanks for your efforts.
Yeah.
I tried everything I know. Our IT guy tried everything he knows. The viruses are a wonderful thing.
Yeah, they are. Morning, Scott.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, other than just what's on the agenda, quick update on culvert quotes come back, both our metal pipe quotes and our box quotes for the bridges we're going to replace this year, and they came in nicely. We're really close to what we estimated, so that fits well within our planned budget for next year. In addition, we got a couple of culverts to lower throughout the county, and those will be kind of our first projects. Some of the engineers' reports come back showing that we have some structures that are too high, so there's two of them. One from the INS report for, is it 37?
3739.
Yep, and then one from DD5 project with Andy and company there, so we'll have one extra pipe to buy as well, because one of them's not in very good shape.
What was the deal with DD5?
DD5 lat 20,
Were the specs wrong or did they put it in wrong?
with the culvert being too high.
Yeah.
Well, the culvert was probably installed without any
Oh, that wasn't.
major survey. Yeah, this culvert is, I mean, it might be 40 years old.
Oh, I thought Andy engineered. Okay.
No, it's just the lot 20 was kind of added to the project by change order or after the fact or something, I understand. So when they surveyed it, it showed up being too high.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about that.
Yep. So by no fault of anybody's.
Yeah. I have nothing.
I don't have anything.
Good. Here we are.
Payroll.
Consider for approval fiscal year 2018 secondary road budget 5-year construction program.
Yep, so if you remember, we do this every year. We take the budget that we approved locally and we input it into the Department of Transportation's budgeting software, and it reflects exactly the same things. This also includes our 5-year program, which shows all of the construction projects that we could feasibly tackle in the next 5 years. The first couple of years are pretty good. After that, it's subject to our bridge inspections and how our roads age and that kind of thing. So not too much stake in the 3rd through 5th years. But year 1 obviously is on, and year 2 is, I would say, pretty confident. But you know, we're showing anywhere there, 2 to 4 bridges a year, which is okay. There's 2 copies of each of these if you guys want
Does
to
this
look
all
at
coordinate with your technical committee and the transportation policy decisions?
them. Right, not all of them have to because of the funding, but 2 budgets to sign, 2 programs to sign. So, really the only one in there that would be road related and need to go through that process would be A16, which we have programmed for 2020.
Is there any agency that can come in and condemn a road, like a blacktop road or hard surface road, say it's not safe?
I wouldn't think so.
That's all up to the counties, right?
Yeah, we have a staff in place to make sure that things don't get to them.
No, I know it, but it's,
Actually, our roads are in as good a shape as they've been in probably a few decades, with the amount that they paved 5-6 years ago with the windmill tip.
Maybe you can encourage the DOT to keep up on their end of it on 69 here.
We don't have too much leverage there, but I know what you mean.
Every time I go to a meeting, I mention it to the DOT and they just look at me like, every time they look at me like I'm nuts.
Yeah.
They just don't drive it, I guess.
just curious, why was the big $100,000 increase from 15 to 16 in snow removal? Went from 179 to 277.
Is that following the tax increase? What year did that get put in? Well, that'd have been fiscal year 15.
Just curious.
Trying to remember what is shown actuals, or is it?
Snow and ice control from that to that.
Well, I would say it's just because it's an actual and not a budgeted amount. It's either the amount actually spent. So we typically budget more than we actually spend in snow removal because that's such a hard thing to predict and it can really spiral out of control.
So 15 is the actual and 16 is the budgeted.
Right.
Make a motion to approve the fiscal 18 secondary road budget 5-year construction program.
I'll second the motion. On a motion from Center and a second from Derby to approve the fiscal year 2018 secondary road budget 5-year construction program. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
How was Wisconsin?
It was good. When they'll come up for a week when they install that stuff and go through it again. Long drive.
Where'd you go?
Ripon?
Where?
Huh?
Where?
Ripon, Wisconsin? There's a college there. They said Walter Cronkite went to that college, and who else? Who's the pilot that keeps landing? He's the movie star. Keeps landing in wrong airports or close calls.
Greece. He was in Greece. Movie Greece.
No, that's John Travolta. That's
He's a pilot.
no,
He's got his own
I mean, a
727.
tall gray-haired comedian or?
No, he's a
Oh, yeah.
Tom
He crash landed in the,
Harrison.
Who?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, yeah, he, went to that college, never graduated there, but I guess he went there. That's their claim to fame, those two guys.
Hopefully he didn't take his pilot school there.
If you would have said Star Wars, that would have.
What's that?
Yeah, if you preferred the Star Wars, everybody knows Star
Oh,
Wars.
yeah, I said I couldn't, yeah. But the guy he could pilot the Millennium Falcon, but he can't do an airplane, what's up with that?
I think you have signed it. You been to that movie in Lake Mills yet?
Which one?
The Shack. I thought it was excellent.
I read the book was excellent.
Terry.
You read? Hey!
17.
Am I already in another year?
It's easier with pictures.
Sure did.
Yeah. That's why I should be checking. I'm out of practice. Kind of like a ticket I got once, Four Corners, coming back from Vegas to Colorado.
You got the first one.
He wrote the ticket for the next year. I
Was
just
there-
signed in, not guilty, because I wasn't there. I couldn't have been. At that time.
See, he's just writing it on the idea that
You
you
had the
might
last
be
one.
there.
Good.
Okay. Consider for approval letter of support for CSA pilot project.
Do you want to do the drainage? You want to do that?
Is somebody supposed to be here for this? Or is this-
Well, she sent those letters, and that's all she said. I don't,
I think I got an email from her, but
Well,
she's
and I-
quite lengthy in her emails all the time, and it's all lots of details, and I didn't have time to read it.
and I emailed this to you when I got it, and said, what do you want me to do? But,
Trying to figure, I just want to know what we're committing to.
well, that's, I don't even understand what we're committing to.
I can call it, just, but then that'll take a while too. Person one, person
Believe who's
two.
against the team.
Thank you.
Read through, just swipe it, sit down,
Very well.
to the end of the numbers on what it takes to be a bestseller.
Okay,
It's quite a shocker. I think that we should have a discussion. It seems like there's going to be, well, there already is, but there's gonna be a lot more of these things coming through that they want us to participate in. And I think we should have just a short guideline as to what we even consider.
Well, I guess I would like to table this, maybe I'll just contact her, find out. Talks about person one, person two, person three. Is that our commitment?
Well, they said that, I mean, it says that they want us to at least do one of those things, but I don't think any of that's feasible for us to do. I mean, we're not gonna be driving over to Clear Lake to,
Oh, we're really gonna analyze this all down. I'll contact her and find out what the deal is.
I'd like to know what their main market is, and where it is. It's just the Mason City area, or if it's all of North Iowa, or
Well, it's all of North Iowa. I used to serve on their board. They're expanding all the time, but
where does this conflict with the name?
Healthy Harvest,
Yeah,
that's the one.
this is the one.
They partner with these people.
They partner with these guys.
Yeah. There's different, there's the food coalition. She's got 3 different entities within the whole
talking
program.
about number 5 right now.
So it's all coordinated.
You didn't want to talk?
I'm just gonna keep reading.
We'll get to you. I asked her if he wanted to talk about you, but we haven't got to you yet. Just table this for
Yeah,
now?
table this. I'll get some more information from her.
Okay.
Consider for approval auditors transfers. Oh, no, we did skip auditors office. Drainage matters.
Yes.
You are-
Ben Roman, this is in Lincoln, so that is Bill's. God, I couldn't think of his name. I will just call him. Andy had gotten a quote back from Larson on the DD 5 lot 27. Is that okay? Did you get the emails? If you'd like to read that.
So that one up in Lincoln, is that part of the rate problem then, or?
Yes. It's north. It's right here.
No, it's farther up then.
Yeah. He's never had water. All of his neighbors are saying that there's gotta be something wrong because there's never been water there. Ben Bromland is the kid who called.
What district is that?
All the frost is out, but I probably should wait another couple of weeks.
For that?
No, for that.
Oh, yeah. So, and his neighbors had turned their land into some CRP, so he didn't know if something that they've got going on in there.
What district?
It's 21, and I can't tell if it's lot 1 or 3. I was gonna wait when somebody went out and then have them verify with lateral, but.
This map show the rate on it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, so it's up. Here's lot 1 and 3.
It's right here. Flat 1 goes at an angle.
Section 9.
Here's flat 1.
Yeah, so I didn't know if it's the lot 3 or the lot 1, depending on where, yeah, depending on where it exactly is, I didn't know. So, okay, and Mark said it was fine too.
Would that be something that Mark could, see if there's an intake along the blacktop there? Where it crosses?
Sure.
And see, inspect it, see if it's flowing out there or not,
Okay, I can have Mark take a look at it. Yeah.
at least for now. And
Yeah. Yeah.
That's usually what he does.
And then my last thing is Chris Ruckstead called, and the elevator has never fixed their problem. And I haven't thought about this in like 2 years. And then I guess the elevator switched hands.
I quit talking to him because he didn't, I had brought this all set up to do it.
Mhm.
And,
I mean, I don't see it.
then I just went to talk to Chris Ruxin,
this Rookstead. And then what?
and then it's never gotten done.
And who's supposed to do it? The
Ruggles.
rail,
I
but
had
the
to-
railroad is supposed to pay for it? Is that it?
No, the.
I don't even remember.
It's not Five Star, it's,
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, it's a private railroad.
it's no longer the railroad, or,
Right, it belongs to the co-op,
right,
whatever co-op it is, but were they supposed to take care of
yes,
paying for it?
yes.
Right?
Yep.
So we can just have it done and they get levied for it, right?
I'd have to make a special assessment, but yes.
Right. I mean,
So I don't know how we want to handle
It's a
it.
city issue, and Jerry and Ross Hanson and Chris were supposed to get together, and they never have, so I'll get a hold of Ross
Okay,
and tell him, I don't think this even goes through drainage.
I don't think it should,
No,
because it's not a drainage problem,
no,
but
so what is the problem?
it's just, from, you know where the 8 apartments is, you know, right north, okay. Chris lives right on the
I mean, if you want, I can-
northeast corner of that apartment. The water settles right east of the apartment and doesn't drain towards Highway 69 like it's supposed to.
because the railroad did something, they did some kind of
Right. They built-
improvements.
They built up the,
They're obstructing the natural flow.
right.
Make a copy for me. and I-
Okay, so as long as you will get on that then.
I better put that down.
Yes, please. Chris is like, yeah, it's no big deal. I'm like, seriously, it's been going on for 2 years? What's a big deal? Right?
I'm not agreeing to anything that you said that I was not in here for.
I'm surprised it didn't fall last year, you know, we had all that rain.
I know. None of the landowners did.
No.
Heck off.
Is that it for the drainage now?
That's all I have.
It's not even like by me.
Do you have any more for
No.
drainage?
Well, Benefit doesn't have my land.
All right, we'll move on to number 6. Consider for approval auditor's transfers. I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's transfers.
Second.
Motion from Derby and a second from Stanford. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What year is yours?
Cora came in the lumberyard,
Yeah,
she looks like an 18-year-old.
yeah, haircut and good and tall and good glasses, yeah.
Wow, she woke down and I mentioned it down.
Grow up fast.
Consider for approval of budget resolutions. It's the same one then.
Nope, they're two different.
And also that one.
Well, and I'll put Terry's name in there too if I'm gonna fix stuff, so. Do you want to just underline that for me so that I?
Motion to approve the budget resolutions.
I'll second it. A motion from Stenzer and a second from Derby to approve county budget resolution 0321 2017-0102 and also 0321 2017-0101. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That is wait,
Yeah, I'll have.
corrections.
Okay. Okay,
County claims, semi-monthly county claims. I didn't see anything that was an issue.
Make a motion to
I'll second it. A motion from Stenser and a second from Derby to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Wow, they're on schedule. But Bell hasn't gone off yet. Discussion and possible action regarding HIPAA. What do we have on this?
We'd kind of gathered some information a while ago about, the ISAC program. I think we talked about that. It's probably been, I don't know, 8 weeks ago, but Carla had asked NGT for some information because they do a little bit of this as well. So she got an estimate from NGT as to a couple of different options they had. One is just a kind of a basic information security program where they create the basic policy and kind of just a kind of a basic option. That's $2,200, and they also have a full information security program, which includes risk assessment and audit, training, probably more along the lines of what this compliancy group that Eric had looked into. That option's much more expensive. That's $8,600. So we looked at those. Carla and I sat down last week and tried to compare NGT to the ISAC program. The ISAC program was $1,950. If you remember the ISAC program, kind of some of their highlights are they provide, I think it's an hour, right? 60-minute training to everyone, and then 5 employees have a full day training down in Des Moines. You get 4 or 5 hours of free legal.
5 hours of.
5 hours of, so questions come up, and that'd be new questions. If there's already been counties that have asked those questions, they would provide those answers to us. That one runs, I believe, fiscal year, so July 1st through June. So if you were going to do the ISAC program, it would make sense to wait in July and reap the full benefits for the full year. And then this other option that Eric had researched, probably more than Carla and I, was compliancy group. And I believe theirs is about $4,200. And they're probably, I think the ISAC, what ISAC's not going to do is they're not going to tell us, they're not going to go through our policy and tell us what's good and bad, but they do have a standard policy for which we can look at and compare ours to theirs. Whereas the compliancy group's probably going to do a little bit more in depth on that area. Like Carla and I were talking last week, it's hard to kind of know what is the best because we don't really know how much of a problem we have, So it's hard to know which option we should choose when we're not really sure if we are doing things that aren't the right way anyway. So I think Carl and I were thinking if we did the ISAC program in July, we could see what benefit we get from it. And if it's good, I mean, it's a 1-year commitment on any of these. So, you know, if you go with one that seems to maybe be the best, and, you know, when you talk to public health, their main concern for their HIPAA stuff is spacing. It's not anything else, it's just the fact that they got some tight quarters over there from the standpoint of people sharing rooms, sharing offices, sharing space, and how that could be a problem for keeping information protected. Well, that's nothing to do with, you know, our policy or training, that's just logistics.
You don't think that could be a part of the policy?
Well, I mean, it could be, but I'm saying their concern is logistics right now. It's just they're working in tight quarters. They have people, you know, that are sharing offices, so when they're talking on the phone, things like that. You know, none of these programs are going to remedy that from the standpoint of spacing. Otherwise, I mean, Carl's office deals with it, but my office deals with a little bit of it when we get medical records for cases. But public health is the big one. It's probably Sandy. I'm assuming Sandy.
They have their own.
And they kind of, yeah, and so is public health. I mean, they get a lot of their own HIPAA training already. So I don't want to say that NGT or the compliancy group is over the top, because I don't know. But it seems like it would be a lot of money if we don't necessarily need that service yet. And after a year of ISAC, if the conclusion is, you know what, it's not worth the money, then
Is this an administrative rule or a statute that's come up, or?
no, it's just counties are being more aware of it, because there's been some counties that have gotten dinged, not necessarily in Iowa, but I know there's one out in the state of Washington that got dinged, and I think ISAC has about 20 counties, so right around there, Mike, that have signed up through their program. I do know that the compliancy group, the group that Eric's talked to, they have a few Iowa counties as well. I had an email at one point in time. I think there was 5 or 6 counties in Iowa that are using the compliancy group. You know, I'm not sure if NGT, I'm not sure if they have other counties that use them for this stuff or
It
not.
didn't sound like it.
Yeah.
I guess my gut feeling is with everything we do with ISAC, I think you'll learn a lot from the networking and other counties' issues that they've encountered at a lower cost. I think because they're doing a more broad one, I think. But it just depends on if we feel comfortable making those decisions on our policies.
Like I said, they have a standard one that we can compare and contrast to. Most counties are pretty good to work with. I mean, if you called up a county and said, hey, can we look at your guys' policy, whether they're in the program or not, but, you know, I don't know what other counties do.
Why are we even doing it?
Because if we get audited, we would not pass a HIPAA audit right now, and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines if you're not doing it right.
And would it affect our reimbursements that the public health gives?
I don't know.
The county part of it is.
I think it's from Mike, I think it's a proactive standpoint, I guess. I mean, you know, I think probably every county could probably do better in this area. And that's why I think some counties have kind of taken the initiative to do more than just kind of what public health does. And so that's why some of these counties are signing up for these programs, is to get more information, to try to become, I don't want to say more compliant, but just more knowledgeable on what's going on in this area.
This might be simplistic, and I brought it up last time, but I guess I don't understand why you just do not talk about medical issues. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that covers everything.
But I mean, I think that's inevitable that people will. You know, I mean, you say don't, but
This isn't gonna stop them then, if inevitably they're gonna talk about it.
no, it's not, but if you can make them knowledgeable on it, that's the only thing I can think of, is the different things going on. Now, like I said, I don't know where we're at in the scope of this. You know, our policy hasn't been updated in a while. So, you know, should tweaks be made there? You know, it's hard to know,
There's
but,
also, like, Eric has talked about when we have vendors, how, like, if the medical vendors have to sign some kind of a, you know, they need to sign some kind of a privacy agreement. And we don't, as far as I know, we don't have something like that. There's, like, if something goes out, it needs to be encrypted. If something, there's more to it than just keeping your mouth shut. You have to have a plan. You have to have all the documentation that you're doing the different things, that you're doing the trainings, that you're, and really, I don't know what all there is that needs to be done with it, but that's why I think we need to start someplace. And like I said, I think the ISAC program is a good place to start because it's not as expensive. There's other counties to talk to, like Terry said, that, you know, you can say, you know, when this comes up, what have you guys done? ISAC also keeps a log of all the questions that have ever been asked, so if you have a question, you can go in there and search your question, and it might just pop up. Right now, I've been using Mike Galloway if I have questions like that, and I guess, you know.
Does it affect every office, or is it mostly just
It's
nurses?
like, it's the nurses, public health, the VA, my office, and social services, and Adam.
yeah, mine a little bit, sheriff maybe a little bit. We get medical records, but, I mean, I don't have a lot of cases where I have medical records, but a few, I mean.
The other thing with my office is we have everybody's personnel files. So like if someone's sick and they need a doctor's notice, that comes back and it goes in our files. Well, and I think Jane has those files locked up, but you know, there's different files that you can not have locked up. There's things that you have to have locked up, and like I said, I don't know all the rules.
Well, I think a lot of bigger companies, don't they have someone in their HR department that deals with, I mean, they have a HIPAA officer, which would allow, obviously.
Well, we would do.
Yeah, we do, yeah. But I think they have someone that's able to keep up on this stuff, you know, a little bit more. So that's another benefit of a program like this. I mean, if something changes right now in the HIPAA world, I'm not sure how we really are appraised of that. I mean, I don't get notifications. I don't really know, you know, when changes come up or guidelines change. But I'm not really sure how we're supposed to keep up on that other than, you know, I don't know.
So if we were to do this, what budget would it come out of?
It would probably come out of the,
Memberships, or if we don't have enough in the memberships, we probably have to amend it.
it would probably come out of Department 54, because it would be serving many departments, not just.
And it's not a decision today, Mike. I mean, the ISAC ones wouldn't start till July, you know.
Can you check on the legal ramifications if we don't do it?
If we don't do any of these?
Yeah, we just.
I don't think.
We just have it in our policy, if you are entrusted with medical information, you keep your mouth shut. And that's an unfortunate responsibility put on a person, because I know a nurse in Britt, long-time nurse at Mercy. She just inadvertently talked to another nurse in Britt, friend, about a patient that they both had. She got canned from Mercy after a long, I mean, this is like 28 years she was a nurse, so, you know. And are we gonna have that in our policy, you know? You blow it, you're canned right away, I mean.
No.
That's quite a responsibility to put on an employee, you know, really is. Any one of us can slip of the tongue, especially in a small community, you know, did you hear about so-and-so?
Yeah.
You know, it's tough.
As an example, there was an institution close by to where we worked. An employee had a physical condition. The college did not have any kind of a HIPAA program, although it was coming into phase in the state. When the employee's records were left out in the open on the table of the supervisor's desk, when the employee specifically in writing told the supervisor, please do not disclose this situation, I don't want this to get out, it suddenly became a hot button issue. Well, because there was no HIPAA certification on the part of the institution, she had full right to sue the institution.
She would have anyway.
And she did, she won significant sums of money because there was no certification in place. There was nothing that said that they were actually certified. So they
She
didn't
would
know
have
what
still
to
got the
do.
money if they would have been certified.
Right.
So what good does another regulation do us as a county, I'm saying, when it doesn't absolve us of any legal responsibility, you know?
Would it affect our liability insurance?
I don't know.
I mean, it might benefit our liability insurance.
Yeah, it's,
Well, I think it'd be good though for every office to at least know what to watch for. I mean, so have some kind of a class or something.
If you have any medical thing come across your desk, you keep your mouth shut and put the papers away. I mean, to me, it's simple, it's just another regulation that gets added to the books that, you know, it nickels and dimes, and $1,900 is, you know, in our budget is what you'd say peanuts, but these things eventually start to add up. They just do, you know. Well,
yeah. So
look into it, you know.
The other thing that we're doing already, that Eric has that know before program. And Eric has this know before program that he's used for some security training. There's a very small HIPAA training in that training that everybody could be required to take. It's not enough, but it's probably at least a start.
And that doesn't cost us anything.
We're already paying for it with the securities program that Eric has.
I'll say, if we're doing this regulation or policy just to cover our butts, I don't think it's necessary. I'll put it that way.
well, I think it would be twofold. I mean, I think it would be that, but I think it also would be the education standpoint, you know? Because some people might not even know what information is or is not protected. Like, it's not just, you know, a doctor's note, you know, so you could go up right now and maybe ask different people in different offices, you know, do you think this is HIPAA protected or not? And they might, who knows?
If our policy says anything medical or appears to be, you keep your mouth shut. Maybe I'm naive, but, you know, I don't know.
The training that I just took the other day on that know before thing said that even if you have somebody's first name, their last name, and their date of birth, that should be HIPAA protected.
Well, and what about, like, we record DD 214s. Sometimes they have medical information on them.
Keep your mouth shut.
You don't even, you don't honestly have to even open your mouth. Like, just communicating the material over an email to somebody who's supposed to have it, if you don't do that in an encrypted email, then even though they're supposed to have it, that's a violation because it wasn't encrypted. So it really it goes far beyond just speaking or not speaking. Even if you are supposed to have the information, if I communicate it to you in the wrong way, or if I store that information in the wrong way, it's a violation, even though I haven't told anyone else. That's why I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but that's,
I am.
I've been, we all are a little bit. But, I've done some looking into it too, and it just goes way beyond, I could not say a thing. I could be mute, not able to speak, and violate it easily.
AKA the file on the desk.
Right.
The supervisor was just outside the door, and the employee walks in, saw the file on the desk, and they lost something to the tune of around $20 million out of the whole thing.
But
Of that simple mistake. That's the
and
point.
that's what it is, a mistake, and we'll research it. All policies and regulations are gonna stop mistakes. Just aren't.
Not arguing that point.
So we'll table this for now and
Okay.
do it further. Guess we can go to open forum. This, we need a stamp on.
No, but just signatures, please. I don't think I do. Somebody else.
Would you put on the agenda for next week then, to talk about, especially for like, the CSA, just explore a minimum criteria for even looking at stuff like this.
I'm doing good. Good. So how's the building project? Oh, good. Good. Talking for me. Good. That's great.
I'll sit back here that way we're protected. I'll say I'll sit back by here. Perfect.
Sorry, I keep pestering your office about clarification of your agenda.
Why? Why are you sorry?
Like sometimes
apologize for that.
Never, never a problem. This is
Right.
from.
Next time you yell at me, okay?
Am I gonna say that now, right?
Yeah.
No.
Michelle, this is gonna be about a 40-minute conversation. I hope you're not gonna do better. Carla puts up with that all the time.
Roughly.
Are you sitting here or did you just spot?
No, I'm probably gonna honestly set this on the floor.
I'm gonna sit over here. Is that okay? I can't get any farther.
Be over here. You'll be over there, that's fine.
That's the total project. King Custody has 6.93%.
How you doing, Ron? Are you gonna come sit by me?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right.
Goes with the clippers.
Okay.
That should be fantastic.
Get the low down there.
I don't have any lowdowns.
You bet. Here, I can move it. No, you're fine, you're fine. I'll sit up here. You're usually here right now. You're fine.
Got a satellite.
Oh, yeah, I already got it going. I'm on it. Just kidding. Don't.
Would you like a chair? Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Trying to be nice.
Chris, what?
Hey, get that stuff on in.
My brother said he emailed me the signing sheet later.
Yeah, I will. Yep.
When you call me, I'm on the phone. Everything you requested.
So what's new?
Getting them busy all
Yeah, spring's gonna come. I'm not sure when.
Well, we'll do that.
Why?
Rain, you got the rain straight.
Right. I looked at that phone a little bit ago and the weather thing always comes up and it said it was snowing. Like, where are you people? I could look out any given window and none of it's snowing.
Our police station, Austin said it could be insurance. Maybe talk about insurance. About the 3 rains.
I have one. Yes. Thank you. Andy was gonna be here, I don't know when. He's always early.
Yes, with the front.
3-point range.
Yeah, could you put it all white? I know it's you.
Call that a foul? I know you're my boss at work.
Like,
Call that a foul, you idiot?
Nice one.
Right, it'll be nice.
Let me turn this up. Would you speak louder?
I mean, some days.
Yeah, I'm glad the season's over.
We all have our days.
Right.
Good morning.
I want to cover drainage.
Yeah, we got baseball, that's even more fun.
Love the tie, you're getting ready for the summer.
Because the umps really don't like me.
There he is. I heard me that he wasn't here.
What drainage maps? You went the whole county?
Better get one.
Carla, do you want a map of Hancock?
Yes.
Carla, do you want a map of Hancock drainage? I know you do.
We're just getting those redone,
Yeah, that'd be great.
so probably wait till after they're done, is that okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And then I'll get you guys one of ours too.
So I think, Bill was the chair of this one, but he's not here. So do I just move into that spot for that purpose?
Your vice chair. You guys got 83% of it anyway.
Morning, Andy.
Has everybody gotten the sign-in sheet yet? Okay.
Figured I better step down and say hi to Sandy, you know what happens if you come up here. I see her tomorrow, but I said, if you come up here, you better just say hi.
Is the ice so thick?
Yeah.
Went out Sunday, but it was Sunday. Pretty early yet. March, that's not even.
As long as you're here.
We're just hiding.
Well, close enough.
Yep.
I guess it's 10 o'clock. We'll move on to the public hearing for joint DD 54-52-17, Plat 6 ditch. I have a motion to open the public meeting by Senator,
I'll second it.
second by Jerry. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearing is open. You want to do some explanations?
I can do that.
What scope of work and
I'll try to keep it brief. My name's Andy Smith, I'm with WHKS. We did the investigation and study on and the report for this project. When we went out there, we found a little bit of silt in the bottom end of the ditch, and they got a little thicker and deeper on the way up. The upper end, probably a good 2 feet thick silt. And we also found in our process of looking at things, we found different things going on in that upper 2,000 feet right adjacent to Highway 9. We had DOT projects, a couple DOT projects that's over time kind of shifted that ditch over a little bit, and it changed the grade as well. Found a few washouts here and there. We found a few bulkheads that were starting to tip over and kind of wash around them. A few trees, mostly by that Highway 9 bridge on the north side. And then we also looked at several private crossings, culvert crossings, and we analyzed those to see what kind of flows they could handle, and also their elevations. Ultimately found that the 3 private structures that we came across, they were all undersized, and 2 of them were above a design flow line that was originally set. One of them was to this acreage on the very upper end. The DOT in 1975, they moved the ditch over and replaced the culvert that was there. And they didn't have any data that they used or found that showed how they sized it or exactly why they set the grade of the ditch the way they did or whatever. So WHKS's recommendations was to basically go through and clean the entire length of the ditch. The last time it was cleaned in 1996 or right around that time frame. So, and then the very upper end, it's about 2,000 feet that parallels Highway 9. We recommended going back to what the original grades were, which would end up having some cuts, some silt cuts and so on, where the lateral 6 tile outlets into the open ditch to be about 2 or 3 feet below that tile line. Right now, when the DOT did things in 1975, they graded right up to the flow line of that tile.
and that was given at a little steeper grade, but it wasn't to the depth it should have been. So we're recommending getting that back to the original grades, giving a little more clearance between the tile outlets and the bottom of the ditch. We're also recommending the replacement of the 3 private crossings. Well, take that back. We're recommending the 3 private crossings come out. The county's policy has been that the district will pay for the removal of the pipes and crossings, and it's up to the private individuals to put them back to whatever we recommend for a size and to a flow line, if the individual property owners want them put back. So the furthest downstream crossing close to the outlet, that was about a 6-foot diameter culvert, and we were recommending equivalent 10-foot diameter culvert. The next culvert up, both of these were up there close to Highway 9. Both those structures are 4-foot diameter concrete culverts, and we're recommending 9x6 concrete box culverts, or the structure referred to as structure 4. It's kind of the one, the field crossing. We're recommending either an 9x6 culvert or an 8.5 diameter archway. The DOT said that they would pay for 100% of any of the costs within that upper 2,000 feet of open ditch that parallels Highway 9, including the replacement of that one culvert into the acreage section. They say that all that's borne on them because it's all in their right of way, and because of what happened back in 75. We also recommend the removal of any trees along that project. Like I say, the majority of the trees are the ones on the north side of the Highway 9 bridge. And we're recommending the removal of the bulkheads since they're starting to become problems. So we're just going to take those out, put about a 20-foot section of culvert on there, fill and shape the ditch bank where those were. And then there's a few washouts that we'd also take care of and address. The culvert that the DOT is paying for, they were recommending or confirming some sizes that I had come up with, and they were recommending to either put it in a culvert, metal culvert, or a concrete culvert. And everybody was of the opinion the concrete would work a little better, a little longer. So the estimated cost that I have in the report was actually for the metal culvert. I thought that maybe was the route we were going to end up going. But after looking at things and talking to the DOT, and everybody kind of wanted to go with concrete, we were going to go ahead with that. And therefore the cost in the report for that, I refer to as Vision 2 work, it's IDOT costs. That cost goes up about $26,000 to $60,000. But again, the DOT is going to be paying those costs, so those costs are not going to cost the district directly. We're going to include it as part of our project and build it as part of our project. And then once the contractor would get it completed and request payment, then Chris would request payment from the DOT, and that's how it gets paid for. Just with that, the overall costs are for everything is actually about $129,000 after we add that change for the concrete culvert. The costs that the district themselves will bear would be, and these are construction costs only, would be about just under $52,000. With that, I guess Anybody have any questions or concerns on any of this?
I do. I own the second private culvert,
Okay.
okay? Which is basically almost identical to the same easement that the Munson farm has, if you look down through there, okay? Now, somebody must have set that elevation and approved that when that all was done. Now I'm supposed to, you're gonna tear out a culvert that Ron can't get to 60-plus acres of land. That's our only access in unless Mike's gonna leave him a lane back there to get there.
Actually,
Okay.
there is one.
Yeah.
If you want to cross it.
You know, so I guess I'm a little concerned that, number one, somebody had to approve that. According to Mark, there's no records of that ever happening and who did it and who approved it. I can't believe the county don't have records on that original put in. It's the same culvert, the same size that the state put in at the other driveway.
Right.
So I'm guessing the state put it in.
That's what I thought as well, but I don't see anything on their plans.
Well,
And I don't disagree with you,
I just think it's kind of an unusual way to do it. I mean, I think this should be shared with the district.
Have you asked DOT
Yeah,
on that specific issue?
If you look out there, Mike, you can just see it follow right straight through. And I did get an estimate from Nettleton Excavating to put a culvert back in. It would be a 102-inch DOT grade culvert, $13,000 to replace that culvert. And I just, I mean, I have to abide by what you guys decide, but it just doesn't seem like it's fair. Okay?
yeah. No,
I really don't.
I understand, and I know.
It'd be different. It's not a culvert of convenience. It's a culvert that has to be there so we can farm that backside. And it had to have been put in during that same time frame.
The nearest we could tell is there was two sets of DOT plans. One was 1950 and the other 1975. Nothing on the plans showed it was done as part of the project, so it could have very well been done with one of the projects or between the projects, I don't know. But yeah, I know where you're coming from.
And the drainage district isn't just going to allow somebody to go out there and throw a culvert in and cover it up. Somebody had to approve that at the time. And it's the exact same size as the one in the Munson driveway.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have
Concrete.
any idea when it was put in? Would you guess?
No, I bought this from the estate about 4 or 5 years ago, this 80. And this was probably done back when Heimdall owned it, I assume, back in those days. I don't even know how far back.
So those have been in there forever.
Forever, yeah.
So which structure is this?
Structure 4.
It's right after the DOT's, or the road.
You could probably put it.
Comes right at Benzo.
Original
Yeah,
ditch.
yeah.
It's
I don't know if they did right there.
it's just outside.
I think they dug up through them.
I know it's the same,
Happened during one of the
same
DOT
time,
jobs,
same
but
size. That's the one.
They don't have any records of it since driving.
It's the same.
Yeah, that's the one
You know what I mean?
towards the outlet.
Diameter culvert you're talking about, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's another structure.
102 inches.
There's one more private structure that they also would have to remove it if they want it, which they need it. They'll have to replace it as well, and that's at close to the outlet of this lateral ditch. They're just a little undersized.
And we're going from, we're actually not only doubling the size of this, but it's 4 times larger. The area is 4 times larger than it is now.
Yeah,
No, it is. So I'm just a little surprised at that too.
yeah, and I know.
That concerns me a little bit,
102 inches.
you know.
And we only got a 36-inch tile dumping into this thing to start with?
There's a 36-inch tile at the beginning of the open ditch. There's a couple tiles coming across. You got overland flows. You got a 48-inch culvert dumping just upstream of this 48-inch culvert that comes from the north. I mean, that alone ought to.
The surface water that dumps into that thing starts only a mile and a half east of town.
Yeah, it's a big drainage area that comes through this. Like I said, the DOT didn't even have any information on how they size the one going through that other driveway.
Ron, has it ever been restricted?
Yeah.
Remember it has?
I farm his farm and,
Well, you can see where it has been restricted, but never to the point where it's gone across, the highway or rolled out.
no.
None of that
Yeah, it can't get that high, it just floods, it'll flood the
field,
field.
but it's never even floods the field that I've seen.
But I have a concern. You done, Dennis, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna take them concrete bulkheads that are in the ditch bank, right?
Yeah.
Taking those out, okay. And the end of that property, of Dennis's property, where it joins your landlord's.
Yep.
There's a culvert that goes on the south side. And I have seen it where that thing will flood into the fields where he gets nailed and I get nailed, flooding. If you put this big culvert in there, that will definitely flood into the field.
Wow.
What has to be done, you gotta put a door on that culvert to keep the water from going out. And then when it goes down, and then it opens back up.
But where you get caught is on Hennings.
Well, that's another problem. down
That
the road.
backs it all the way back to the
Yeah.
main, that third field, or that access
Right.
on the Henning farm.
But that much, not much water coming down there will raise the level of that ditch. A lot of water comes there. Where it is right now, it will hold the water back because there's more water coming into that driveway, and it's way above the culvert. You take that away, you're gonna have a lot more water, and then the level's gonna get higher. It's gonna be a faster rush of water.
We're lowering the ditch right where the
Yeah.
culvert is about 2 feet.
But I've seen it flood back in the field, and I've been flooded out, and he has too. But to correct that problem, you just put a door on that culvert. That's a loose hinge door. It'll hold that shut till the water gets down there. When it gets low enough, it'll open back up and drain the water from the other side.
You're talking on a surface pipe
Yep,
somewhere.
yep. It's right at the angle where it hits southeast, and then it starts to go back northeast.
There's Highway 9. This is Highway 9.
Okay, yeah, right here, well, yep. Right about this area right here, between the two properties. There's a culvert right in here, and that's the one that needs a door on it. The door on that to keep the water from running out to here and you get down here, the level's low enough, then this door will open up and drain back in. I've seen them do it.
To the south?
Yep.
Okay. It's not, it doesn't have a structure number on it. It's actually a surface pipe. It's
But I've seen how that works, I've seen people do it.
sheet D02. And it's right around station 76.
But that would correct that problem there of getting a lot of water come back in there. It cures one problem and takes care of another one. Agree on that? It worked that way?
That helped there.
Yeah.
The big part is getting rid of the field up on the Hennings.
Yep. Well,
That backs it all the way.
it needs a culvert.
That's just too small. I didn't know it was that small to me.
Well, it's not gonna
What
say
size?
so.
Right off the top of your head, about what size is that?
I think it is
Which
36.
one?
The metal culvert we're talking about?
The Hennings?
No. 10 years, months, and
It's maybe a 24. Because there's a big,
Right here. Isn't it, that's the one, correct?
It's a surface pipe.
there's a surface pipe and a county main right next to it almost.
It might be that. It might be by that 28 left.
And that's actually one of those cement structures you're talking about.
That's an easy fix.
Bulkheads that need to be taken
Put those
down.
doors on there and take care of the flooding in the back flood.
Yeah, that's fine if you want to put a.
Well, we definitely need it. We've needed it,
There's,
the way it is right now.
yeah.
Safe and good.
We can add that if you guys want to do that. That's, wouldn't be a huge cost on that.
Well, and, you done?
It could always be added after the fact.
Another concern, this one you're gonna take out on Denny's property, there's a gas line running through it.
Yeah.
And I caught the guy that was surveying, just happened to go down the road and seen him and brought him down there to show it. Maybe he's working for you guys, I don't know. And he went down there and supposed to check it out.
Yeah, we checked, there's gas lines at the outlet end of this that are really close to the design. But I think we can get over the top of them.
Well, just so you're aware of it.
And there's also the gas lines, the same ones you're talking about,
Yeah.
crossed by that bridge. We shot those. and those look pretty decent. And we need to also find out about the gas lines in that area too. But they were thinking that they were not at that crossing because the ditch is far enough away from the road.
Well, I just want you to be aware of what's out there, so. Okay, that's all I got from Dennis.
We've heard your plan, Andy, when do we have the bid letting in, and when are you proposing to have this completed?
We could have a bid letting, if we set the date today, we could probably do a bid letting like April 11th. That would fall within the windows that the code, 13-day and 45-day notices. And I guess we normally would do I guess I would suggest the end of the year for a completion date.
December 1st or so?
December 31st is normally what I would do, just, and that should be a big enough window for 2 miles, so.
Part of that's county, isn't it? It's in the right of way. Yes, it's in the state. Keep looking at it.
Any other questions or concerns? Ron?
If you do this project, when would it be done, you think? Any idea?
Sometime between end of April and the end of the year. My guess is the contractor probably won't start it before fall.
If you do it in the fall, it'd be wonderful.
And we could set that if you guys wanted to say you won't start before such and such a date or crops are out or something like that, you could do that. The only thing would be you tie the hands of the contractor a little bit.
Your bids get higher if you start tying their hands too much.
Yeah.
You could pay crop damages if you tie it too much.
Right, yeah, and if you pay crop damages, maybe it won't be, they'll, like I said, they'll more than likely try to shoot for this fall, but they may, it's hard to say, they may do it in the summertime too. I guess I would just kind of leave it kind of open.
I think we need to address Kevin's too, problem. We've got private culvert. What are we gonna do there?
Wait, it's up to the landowner, and the way we do it in Hancock County, it's up to their responsibility to take it out and to replace it.
I know that, but
When you buy right-of-way, usually they take that into consideration and pay them for the right-of-way when they're buying the land at the time.
should he be paying for a mistake of past engineering? Not necessarily engineering, but the process of putting it in.
Also, your coefficients have changed too, I'm sure, from what they used to do, so it would be undersized like 50 years ago anyway, probably.
It could have been, yeah, but, yeah, we don't have a record.
If you don't have records, you can't say.
I mean, you can speculate, and I can't disagree with you, but I don't have any records or information saying this is when it happened and this was.
No, I understand, but you'd think that with a drainage district that there should be records.
We've always had access that way.
Not always.
So the entire structure is just outside the right of way. Apartments.
The entire structure or part of the structure? You might want to look at that.
I'll have to look at it a lot closer.
I think
but
you should.
I don't know if it necessarily would matter.
Yeah.
Because I've already asked the DOT on that one. And so far they've said they're not gonna pay for that one, but, I mean, we can ask again, but it just.
Why do we have to ask? Can we just tell them there can be assessed for a part of it? Because part of it's in the right of way, if it is.
Well, I don't think they would be required to do it. It's a private crossing, even if it is kind of in their right of way. Because the other one, they took it upon themselves to keep moving things over. And they took out a bridge in the 50s. and put a culvert in, and then with the 75, did it over again. And I didn't see anything on those plans that, I mean, it showed on, I think it was on the 75 plans, I got them in here, that it was an existing structure in 75.
How many year basis do you work on as far as flood? 50?
Pardon me?
Like, a 50 year on a flood incident?
A lot of times, like a public entity, the DOT or the county, they'll design for what they call a 50-year recurrence interval flood event for their culverts. Higher than that for bridges. And I guess we recommend that you design for a private one for like a 25-year event. And this particular culvert didn't even meet a 5-year event storm. So even a 5-year storm, which would be, don't quote me, but it'd be like maybe a 2-inch rain or 3-inch rain or something like that.
Well, it definitely was put in wrong in the first place.
I don't know, it was,
The coefficient wouldn't have changed on a 50 year. That would have been that'd be 2025 would still be going out to.
they've changed a lot the last 10 years. But a lot, even these culverts that were done before a lot of the normal equations were out there in the 80s. So both culverts had some other criteria. If they were sized, they had some other criteria back then that they used.
Engineering's changed that much?
Engineering hasn't, the data for the floods has. So, but that's what we go by, and that's what we recommend too.
And aside from that issue and your issue, what, any other issues?
Just for curiosity, if you're gonna replace these culverts or we're gonna drive over, would it be the better time if you guys were tearing it out to put the pipe in then? Would there gotta be a savings there? Or not?
There could be, I mean, you might be able to work something out with that contractor that's doing the work.
Just a thought.
Usually that's what happens. Negotiates with the contractor.
And then I have in there where the contractor needs to contact the property owner to see if the property owner wants to attempt to salvage the pipe. Like the first structure there, that's a metal pipe. May or may not be able to be a salvageable thing other than possibly scrap, depending on how.
Okay, when you pull them bulkheads out, that's concrete. What do you do with that?
That's, at this point, I'm leaving it up to the contractor to remove it from the project site.
They are gonna take it out of there, so I can work it down then. The dirt you can work down, but you can't work down concrete, you know?
Yeah, they'll remove the concrete bulkhead
All the way.
all the way,
Okay.
remove it from the project
Good.
site, and then, so they put in a new section, a 20-foot section of, culvert, metal culvert.
Yeah.
And then they backfill and shape
Sure.
that ditch bank back, how the adjacent bank
Sounds
looks.
good.
So that kind of eliminates some of
I'm
the.
fairly interested.
Do you think that by cleaning out the ditch, it will affect the flows coming west from there? Coming from the west?
It should help. I mean, it'll obviously, things will be lowered, the water level will be lowered, and then things will be shaped better, and it should be able to flow through the ditch better. So it should, therefore, from the west, be able to receive that water a little better, maybe a little quicker. So it should improve based, in general, things within the district, within the drainage area.
But that's been an issue for me.
It probably won't work wonders if you're very far away, but it should help. I mean, by lowering the flow line of that upper 2,000 feet, should help any tile lines that are dumping within that 2,000 feet, because you're going to have a ditch flow line about 2 feet lower in general. Therefore, you can empty out your tile lines a little bit quicker.
Well, we were on like 200 Avenue on Highway 9, south of there. And it affects,
Right at the
affects the road.
end of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, there should be some fairly obvious improvements in that vicinity, because these guys, it's so close to the end of it, so. Mostly with the surface water, because that'll, you'll lower that overall water level in the ditch at the very end of that ditch by almost 3 feet. So that's obviously gonna help.
Okay.
Any other questions and concerns?
You own 83% of it, Terry. I just said second motion if you make one of you.
Right.
Because you have the biggest share of it. I
didn't hear that.
If you wanted to make a motion to clean the ditch or proceed to bid letting, I'll second it, but you guys own 83% of it. I just, in my opinion, I just didn't see you guys make the motion.
I'll make a motion to close the public meeting first.
Got a motion from Stenzer to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All right, I got a second from Ron.
Make a motion to go ahead and proceed with the project.
Vote on it first.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Add one thing real quick.
Oh, yes.
If you want to add that gate on that one surface pipe, if you want, we can do it as part of the project. I mean, like I say, it's not a big deal to add it afterwards either.
You want it from the start?
We've got a motion on
Time
the
to do it
floor.
then. Time to do it then.
We can discuss it in.
It's not a high price deal, it just needs to be put on there.
We got a motion on the floor to close the public hearing, so, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, now we can discuss what the scope of work is gonna be for this project.
I think the only thing that would probably change from the recommendations would be probably the increased cost for that concrete box culvert would be one, which would be the extra costs are borne by the DOT. And the other for sure would be, if we want to add a gate to that the one surface pipe. I'll have to get a little bit better location, but I think it's around Station 75.
Well, the gate's right on the field board, between the two farms.
Okay. I can kind of see it on the aerial photo.
See, there's the main, and then the gate would be right in there.
Okay.
There's the fence line.
Yeah, yep, I think it is.
It's right on the, almost property lines.
Okay, so it'd be about Station 78, which is 7 plus 50.
Yeah, I got marks here. Are those marks the pipe?
I think they are the pipe, yeah. I think there's a tile line and then a surface pipe in that area. One of the lines is a
There's
bulk.
a surface pipe, and then a little farther east is the lateral.
Right, right.
So we'll put it on the surface pipe in that vicinity.
That'd be approximately just before 78. Any other discussion on changes to the engineers?
Would you from AMCOP object to putting in that private culvert, both the removal and putting it back in?
the cost of the district?
Yeah,
You're opening up a can of worms if you start that.
You're gonna do it for all of them. If you do it here, I think you can't do it.
well, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah. But the next one that comes up.
Well, we already, yeah, you know, we already paid for the removals, so, you know. Just throwing it out there.
I don't think you want to, but
Okay,
we're gonna do the same thing on one more. We just had the farmers are paying it.
okay. I'll make a motion and to proceed with the project.
Are you adding in the flap on that surface drain?
Clap on that.
Is there other changes on that motion?
You're gonna set the bid letting down?
No, we gotta have a second to the motion.
So what's the motion?
Accept the engineer's report plus the flap for.
Yeah. Plus the flap on station 78 about surface pipe flap. So I've got a motion from Stenzer. Was there a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? With a separate motion for the
We need a vote on that then and then.
the timeline. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. So now we'll set our bid letting then. We're looking at April 11th.
I was thinking April 11th falls within the window of the code with a 13-day minimum and 45-day maximum. That'd be about the earliest one. People might be able to squeeze in the week before, but I don't want to cut it that close.
Well, do we want to put in two options? One, starting date, later starting date in the fall, or just keep that out of it?
I'd keep it out of it, because you put too many restrictions in it, your bids are gonna be a lot higher. That's just my opinion.
Can we have two bids? Would you object to two bids saying an alternate bid?
We can do that, and then at the time of the letting, you can choose if you want to proceed with it. We've done that on one other
We've
project.
saved money by doing that in the past if we.
Do like an alternate A and alternate B.
Yeah, we could do this would be a base bid would be the end of the year. Then we could do an alternate A would be a price adjustment for a different completion date. And then at the time of the letting, then you guys can choose if you wanted to go with that alternate completion date. Some contractors will say no cost adjustment. The next one might say $10,000.
Or would you talk end of the year, completion date or starting date?
Starting date.
We can do both. We can do, we can say you need to complete it within this time frame from May 1 to
Well, that should be
July
set in
1.
stone.
Well, that can be part of
The ending should be set in stone.
Yeah. Yeah, we can kind of give it a different end date if you want. I mean, we can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to have a different end date of June 1, then that would be alternate 1.
That defeats the purpose, I think, doesn't it, Ron? If you would have June 1st and.
You're talking about paying crop damage. Do you do that? The ditch
Out
banks?
of the right of way, yeah.
Yeah. You got what, 60 foot, don't you?
50 center line.
So the time it has worked for us before is when we had a bid letting like in the fall. And I think if we had an end date by May 1st, it worked out because the contractor said he could do it for the same price either way. So
I've talked to a couple contractors and they're getting kind of filled up until fall. So it might work out for fall cleaning. Just have to see,
Yeah, if you don't, the whole point is if you don't care when it happens, as long as it happens sometime this calendar year, if you don't care, I guess I would just recommend just sticking with December 31st deadline. But if there was, for some reason, you wanted to do it by a different date, we could.
Well, if they'd come in there in November, then that could keep a lot of people happy. November through December. You can't do it in 2 months, they should be able to easy.
And we can, kind of, like I say, we can kind of do a little bit of finagling with the dates if you want.
Well, if we know they're coming in there, we can speed up our harvest too to make it accommodating for them, you know.
How much of this has filter strip along the side of it?
We have it on ours.
This is quite a bit of it, did.
Yeah, like I say yours, and then the Vicks, then Munson's, we don't have it, Hennings don't have it.
Right.
So there's, what, a half a mile?
No, Eddie's got filter strips.
Do they got
Or no, they took them
Oh,
out,
they
that's
took them
right.
out.
They had them, that's
There's
right.
maybe 3/4 of a mile that doesn't have filter strips,
I know, I'm kind of
and we got a quarter.
just looking at,
Munson's got filters, Cleveland, you.
I was looking at the overall one. It's kind of tough to say, but it looks like they don't have much here, but it looks like that might be just banks. But it looks like a majority of the rest of it does. And I'm also calling out for them to clean it from this side rather than.
Let's just bid it as completion date of December 31st with an alternate bid of, I suppose that should be reversed. Starting,
The alternate bid,
November 1st,
November 1st of December, including
November 1st of December.
for an alternate.
Okay.
That should be the original bid with an alternate bid of the whole year.
You ain't talking about,
That would be cheaper, I would assume.
you ain't talking about 2 miles of cleaning a ditch, really.
November's getting awfully late.
Yeah.
Start. You know, when they got that, big pipe work to do on the upper end. Cause we can get pretty good frost by November.
Yeah.
Don't be careful, you won't get any bids. You get 200 gates in here, you won't get anybody to bid.
Do what you gotta do.
One bid.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Although, don't you get caught in favors there, is if you take that out during harvest, they can't get it out.
Well, we can have a culvert ready, it's not that.
That's, like I said, that is
That's gotta be a
access, otherwise they
coordination.
have to pull across a half mile of someone else's fields to get it out.
Right.
Yeah, if they don't have something arranged before that.
Right, that's the catch on that piece. You know, Munson's is fine, we don't get affected, but Ron gets affected on that 61 acres. There is, coming across our field, you're going across peat ground. And that can be just as wet as anything, that flat, once they get off the knolls. Because that floods out, I've seen 1.5 foot of water run across our field. On and off, and then it gets soft.
A lot of it, if you can just get the contractor, work with the people, work with the farmers, then it'd work.
It sounds like everybody obviously needs their culverts put back in.
Yeah, I just need to work together and work this out, timing.
So, yeah, I think if you get with the contractor,
If he takes it out, he's gonna put it back.
yeah, he'll probably put it back that same day.
Yep.
As long as you make the arrangements ahead of time.
See who gets the bid.
Right. Right.
Shouldn't that be stipulated though? Shouldn't that be stipulated for time-wise?
As far as
contracts.
to remove the culvert
Yeah.
to accommodate harvest. Well, it's a little tough because then if you don't remove them, you don't really want to do a lot of work upstream either. So from that aspect, you'd want to wait for harvest. But if the private owners can work with, have things arranged.
If.
It doesn't even have to be.
Can't you even do an alternate to put that one back in, have an alternate price? I mean, because obviously you're gonna make me pay for it, so can you include that as an alternate like you're doing with the state? The state's gonna write you a check. Can you, that way the
Are they
guy,
coordinating to do this all at the same time?
so the guy who
The
took it
state
out.
and-
We're supposed to do it.
We're doing the work as
And
part
bill
of
us,
this
really?
project, and we would let them know what the payment that the contractor wants for that section, and then they would cut a check and send it out to us. I guess it depends on how much you wanna trust the state. I mean, I guess it'd be, it'd be the same with a private individual. If you make it part of the project, well, then you,
But we'd wanna see what that cost is, cause I shouldn't wanna pay $18,000 when I already got a price for $13,000. You know,
but if you got a price from like Nettleton or whatever,
Well, it makes no difference to me. If you're fine working with the contractor, that's fine.
but you can
You
always,
wanna,
you don't have to work with the contractor either. I mean, you
Right.
you can stay with Nettleton, but,
You might be, the contractor might be 5,000 higher than you can get done.
right,
exactly, yeah.
so it isn't gonna hurt to check with them.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, once you find out, when we find out who gets the low bid, I'll visit with them, okay? And then we'll see, but it's gotta be a coordination. I mean, that's just common
Well,
sense.
is this any different than when we had to skip the pipeline area on that other project? I mean,
we left
jumped
it,
from here to here.
right, and we had it worked out
You
in
have
about
your
a
shots
month.
before you start and stop.
Yeah, and then we just had it worked out in about a month's time or something.
Yeah.
Trying to have it clean through.
That's what shooting elevations is all about. You're grading from one side to the other, and you come in later and do the
Yeah,
culvert replacement too.
right.
If it has to work out that way.
We can easily coordinate the contractors and the landowners because the district as a contracting authority can tell them what they can and can't do. So if they're not agreeable, it's as simple as saying, no, you're not gonna take that crossing out until Dennis says it's okay. So,
you can do that. After they get the contract, you can do that.
sure. It's the contracting authority.
You got some
have the
wiggle
authority
room
to
even
do
afterwards.
almost anything.
That solves that then.
Well, we did that on that one up there. Told them not to take it out because it was only that far off. So,
Problem solved.
Okay, so we need to set the bid letting date.
you have to work with a contractor.
And
I'll take care of
Was it 11 or 13?
do we need to, in this motion,
You know
also
what time
identify
it
what
was?
the timeline for work is?
But it's a Tuesday.
It's gonna be 31st.
So you should be fine.
Tuesday, it shouldn't matter.
April
Somewhere
11th.
in one of our motions, we have to have that.
Early in the morning.
In our bid letting date motion, do we also identify the December 31st?
That'll be in the specs, won't it?
It'll be in the specs.
The date and time for the deadline.
As long as you guys are okay with that date, all of this included in the spec, and then it's taken care of that way, and it'll also be in the notice that we publish.
Well, we're Winnebago sometimes.
If we do anything different, we can take off now.
Let me know, okay? I got that meeting, so.
10 o'clock, okay.
What did you want it earlier with?
I was talking to Dennis, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Ron.
never mind.
Sorry.
Okay,
10 o'clock will work.
Too many rounds.
That's
I'll move to set the bid letting April 11th at 10 o'clock up here.
Yeah, motion from Ron, and a second from Stenger to set the bid letting for April 11th at 10 o'clock. I know in the past, we have always done the calculations of the bids and verification, and then awarded it that same day. How comfortable are you in doing it the same day?
That's fine.
Okay, all right, you guys okay with that then? We'll just have a slight delay in the time it takes them to go through them and. All right. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That should cover everything we had.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
My motion, you seconded.
All right, thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Move to adjourn.
We're still here.
And talk.
You wanna join in?
Could have seen it after.
Your motion to send Terry.
I'll make the ball.
Sounds good.
My brain card, a lot wider, you have to pick 3-inch cars.
Thank you.
It's just kind of hung in there, that's about it.
Yeah. I need more chairs.
Dad's place.
Oh, yes. I've seen many times where you got and everything that's wrong with me is just real stuff in the headings, there's a tower there. Okay. But you get this all cleaned up.
Well, we still have bus business to conduct here, so.
Oh, we'll leave. Gee, thanks.
We don't want you to leave.
Here's a report on the jail.
I'm gonna get hit bad in that house. Right, Michael? Say, I got almost 3/4 of a mile of property along that dirt. Plus my, plus 3/4 and then plus the whole farm south after my part goes into that ditch, into that part. Just getting rid of the hennings would be nice. I'd thought about where I might go with my backhoe. Later. I'm glad it's getting better. I'm glad to see that this fall, Paul's been good. Yes. He's going so slow. They do know when I just started fishing. And that one where Ron's talking.
I didn't get here to find out anything to be doing what we're talking about. When it goes through our pasture, will they be doing anything through the pasture or at either end of it?
Engineer could probably explain it better. I'm still out there.
The guy that was talking?
Explain that. We're gonna do that. And then we find out.
Oh, that's right.
Jerry, when's the tour? Right. When's the tour? I mean, John, he has a question. And all of that tour. Yes, for the. Just go down there with and then it was. All the bad parts. All the good ones. I do know one that would probably.
The grand opening of the jail doesn't quite ring right there.
Sure. But I know one year, that I did.
Have you been out there?
Yeah, and you.
No, I haven't been connected to anything yet.
Are you looking to be?
I'm trying to. It's kind of hard to rob places when they get started. They're trying to make it difficult.
Yeah.
It's going to, I'm digging these 3/8 Carl. I walked out to it. James.
Well.
Yes, sir.
I know. Without me. But I was what can you be arrested for? I should be, yeah. But without much. I watched you smack Terry and I thought it would work.
I'm guessing you're interested for that. We got people that are gonna move, they're gonna be the first one. We're gonna argue with a police officer. We're gonna have an open house out there, obviously. It'd be fun to see if anybody was interested in paying $100 to go in that for the fundraiser.
Now, this year,
I was telling these guys that I think it was the prison down there.
12 years later, it went over again.
Oh, I don't know if we can do wine and cheese.
Pay to go through in the past, people are paying for it. Why would we pay for that?
But I've had people ask if they could be the first one, you know, just like you, for $100 or $50 or something like that, might be worth it.
It'll be in the special status, it'll be like.
All I need is my gin touch.
They're not bars. So the other day I took my daughter and her kids to the contractor, the guys working on it, they found the top.
We're already 45 minutes behind.
Put that, chop, chop, let's go. Scared the snot out of my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old.
Did you hear about that incident in Mankato yesterday? I think it was yesterday, where that child hung himself. His coat, he got into a changing room and got up on a bench and got his coat hooked, the hood on the coat hooked on the hook, and fell off and hung himself.
What a horrible, horrible thing.
Was it on purpose or?
No, he was just got loose, couldn't find him. He got into the changing room and accidentally got hooked on the, he was just a toddler.
4 years old.
Oh my God.
Or a little bigger than a toddler.
Climbed up on a bench or something, then it slipped out.
Well, this was a store?
At the store.
Yeah, thrift store.
Yeah, thrift, secondhand store or something.
Yeah, I can, oh man.
I think, was it the parent or grandparent that was?
That I don't know.
What a grandparent.
My daughter was telling me about it, she just.
And you couldn't see, when they were looking for the child, they couldn't see him under there because his feet were up.
I remember when I was in the service, we were out the PX one time and Chris was hiding from us. We looked all over for him, couldn't find him. He's hiding in a rack of, one of them circular racks where, and every little kid goes and hides in there. But you get a sick feeling in your stomach when you
I still hide him.
Well, I'll start with job progress update. The vinyl composition tiles going down. They're starting to finish special finishes, squad rooms finished. So, and all the painting's pretty much done in the front except for 3 doors up there that they need to paint. All the cabling's been run to the computers and everything else. The jail portion, all the countertops, casework are going in. They're finishing off the 2 additional areas with the ceiling tile at this point in time. Plumbers are putting in the sinks and everything, and I would say that the jail is 98% painted out, and they're going to be installing the electric locks. So if you walk through there, don't let the door slam behind you, or you won't have to worry about being arrested, Mike, because you'll be stuck in there. So it's coming along real good, and I would anticipate by the second week of April, we're going to be ready for, getting security electronics in the facility. So they're supposed to be bringing that material, cameras, exterior cameras and everything else will be going in here in the next couple of weeks. I'm happy with the progress they're making, and then Dave and I are going to be meeting with Andy Buffington and the E911 providers. There's like 4 or 5 providers. I can't make it work, he can't make it work. I don't know anybody else, but those providers need to get together and determine what the hell they're doing along with NGT and them people. They have all the drops and they got quite a few of them, and I want to know what's going on so that we provide any electrical or anything else and get them in there and get them moving along, because once the jail's done, then they got to provide it, get it to work. Other than that, I'm real happy with the progress. I'm happy with the quality that I'm seeing out there, and I think it's coming along real well. fact, I think you're ahead of Alameda County, and I think they started before we did. Yeah, so a little bit bigger facility, but still all the same. We had a bunch of dirt to move out there. Any questions that you had on what you saw out there?
I do have one question. Did we, the moisture problem, is that
It's
squared
been
away now?
resolved, yes. Yeah,
I was gonna ask you that on the hallway, I forgot to, so.
well, that's kind of, the only person that that's the mechanical contractor that pain in the butt we've had. I mean, Rick's been on them and I've been on them. If you commit to do something for me, and say it's gonna be 2 weeks, I would expect you in 2 weeks to have it ready or the following week. But we've stayed on top of them and they're catching up. But that was a portion of the problem. We did not have enough airflow in the facility. We had the general contractor bring back the precast manufacturer, and Rick cut some caulk out, pulled it back to see if it was insulated. There's a couple of corners that were not insulated. We had them re-insulate them, and that resolved a portion of the problem too. But we had high humidity all winter long, it seems like, and without them furnaces pushing air around the facility, just allowed some cold and hot temperatures to develop some moistures in some outer corners. But that's been resolved since. The other questions? Well, we're coming along pretty good, so.
When does the dentist's office open then?
The dentist?
The front door is upside down and has something DES on it.
Yeah,
Temporary door.
that's supposed to be a security glazing. And so the security glazing should be in, I believe, April 6th. So that'll be swapped out at that time.
Just the glass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it is the door.
Yeah, it is the door, it's the glass, it's supposed to be kind of attack-proof. There's a button outside in case someone's in distress, a domestic dispute. They can hit that panic button and let them into that particular area. And they're semi-protected till officer or jailer can get up and let them into the main section.
This isn't a criticism by any means. I'm just asking, and you know how tight I am. What do you think it would cost to change the overhead door to match the color of the back building? That, to me, that's very noticeable. And,
It's hideous.
If there was a couple thousand, 3,000, I suppose it wouldn't be what it.
Let me put it this way, when they picked it out, they had the metal right there and it looked like it was exact. And then Rick sent me a picture texted me a picture, and it was so freaking green. We had done the grass at that time. I said, wow, that grass is coming in good, Rick. And he goes, that's your damn overhead door. I go, oh my God. So I think that we could probably get that painted, probably cheaper than replaced. And I think that we may have $1,500 in it or something.
I say do it. Don't you do it?
Yeah, I think you can get a good quality paint job on it. You gotta make sure they have quality paint that doesn't fade.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people say, what?
Well,
It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, it's supposed to, so you know where the vehicle salad port is.
Yeah.
I would check.
It looks like a Thompson Cub green.
There's 3 of us that did that, and we looked at,
It's easy, it's not a criticism. I just want to know if we could,
if there's
fairly reasonable, get it changed.
I mean, I looked at it when I came out here. Wow. Rick goes, what do you want to do? I go, damn. I don't want to buy 2 new doors. I know that. I said, it's possible if we have some money left over, we might want to get that painted. So, yeah, it's not, I won't take that as a criticism, but I'm not an interior decorator, but that sticks out to me.
I would like to get it done before open house. If we're going to do it, I'd like to get it done before open house.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to painters out there.
Okay.
And he seems to be very good to get along with, and if
Was he
we,
painter?
I can't
From
even
around
answer,
here.
he's from
Does he work
Cresco.
with metal?
Yeah,
He does?
yeah, he's doing all the door frames and everything else.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So
All right.
they're all sprayed.
Yeah. So, let's see what he can do for us. I mean, that would really, because even the difference between the flashing on the side of the door and the door is,
Yeah. So the flashing
substantial.
matches the soffit and all that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It's a really good looking building except for that.
I mean, well, yeah, you guys did a good job. I'm not sure about the black countertops, but they always tend to look dirty. But Dave, Sandy, Rick, all of them had the metal samples out there and put it right up against it. And you know, the daylight can screw you up too, whether it's shining on it. We picked it out, but when it came in,
I know it happens.
yeah. You hate to spend that kind of money, but I think that something needs to happen with that, so I'll check into that for you. My goal was I wanted all the change orders written so we know where we're at. We've added that expansion on. One thing I ran into on Davis County with Delbert is typically they'd let you do the expansion, just not let you occupy that particular area. Well, the week before it was supposed to open up, Delbert had counted to 10 and said, no, I'm not allowing you to open any of it until that's done. So we had to pull a couple of rabbits out of our hat and go steal
So what was done?
the expansion. They're doing theirs was an upper level. So we had to go steal material and stuff and then from Alameda County, fortunately, and bring it back down there and put it in. I finished it in a week. But I don't want to go through that stress again in my life when I get an occupancy permit the day when you're switching E911 off. So I would anticipate that we'll be pretty well done, completed by May. And then after talking to Andy, we'll set the final schedule and then determine what we want to do. I don't know if you're thinking of Cattlemen's Association or whatever to do some hamburgers, but you know, you can do whatever you want in the grand opening. I do have a plaque designed that we're going to buy and present to the board. I'll email that up to Carla so that we can just go over it, make sure we get everybody included. I think one of the people we probably want to make sure is on the plaque is Willie Lubin on there. So I want to go through it so I can get that done and get that ready, and then we purchase it and get it put up on the wall for you. So I know in Davis County they had 250 hamburgers, and they had 1,000 people come through the facility. I think you're probably going to experience some of that.
How big is Davis County?
I want to say 12-ish, maybe. Not much. So, but everybody and their dog came out, and I don't care what you did with them hamburgers, you weren't going to.
Yeah, I think County, we're at Clay County.
Boy, I think we had close to 800 there too. We had a big group, so I think you're going to have a pretty good out.
You want to go with pork producers?
Yeah.
Cost effective.
If you want to do something, I think, you know, I would see the supervisors giving a little bit of a speech. You know, y'all been involved in the project for 4 years. Dave probably gives something.
Or it's been at least 5.
Yeah, well.
We were just talking about that. Doug had started it, before I was elected, and I don't know where it was in the process, but.
You're in your 5th year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at least a year before that, so.
Yeah. So anyways, we want to get everybody involved, recognize committee members, that sort of thing. So I can do that, and then we can just be set up to tour through the jail. And I think you're going to have a lot of people want to go through it.
Hopefully we'll have our final piece of funding in place by then.
Well, that'd be great.
Off the record, we were told we were approved for that $360,000 grant loan. But because of the way the federal government's working right now, they can't officially say.
Okay. So I wanna go through the change orders first, if you guys don't have
So
any.
going back, you said after the 1st of May, you're looking at?
I really need to, I think that this thing's gonna finish up in a hurry. So it depends on when Andy's ready to move E911 and when Dave's ready to move E911 in there. But the building should be prepared by then.
So you think it might be before the 1st of May or after? Or?
Boy, they're awful damn close out there, but I would think that security electronics I'd probably bring in there in a couple of weeks. You know, they're gonna start putting up cameras and stuff like that, so we're gonna formalize the schedule and then I can email Carla and she can get it to you. That way we can start setting some dates. And plus, I need, you know, as soon as they're finished up, I need to get Rick off site too, you know. I can come up and as necessary and take care of it. Well, let's go with the change orders. I think we'll go over one at a time. That way we can get them out of the way and get them approved as we go, unless you want to do them all. And Bill's not here, so is Mike signing or?
I am.
Okay. So this is change order 1-5. We had some flashing for the expansion when we switched to that rooftop unit of $761. Had to add those smoke dampers and such up there. So this was roof flashing. The door in VSD1, we had to cut that concrete opening a little bit further. So it's $297 to cut that concrete. We had to provide 8 24 by 24 inch access panels for operated smoke dampers for the fire marshal. He wanted them put in. And add carpet and vinyl base to interview room 123 for sound attenuation. That was one of the flooring changes I'd missed. The other one was carpeted. So the total amount of the change order, and this brings Cresco Building Service, I believe, totally up to date, would be $4,280.
What's VSD1?
VSD1, it's a door. It was a 7-foot door, somewhere in the transition from the precast to the other one. The opening was set for a 6/8, so we had to cut the opening a little bit bigger. Otherwise, it's gonna run into more money replacing the doors and everything else, so I just told them to get a concrete saw and cut the opening a little bit bigger. So that'd be our recommendation. We go ahead and approve this change order 1-5 to Cresco.
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion. We've got a motion from Stenrud and a second from Derby to approve change order number 1-5 in the amount of $4,280. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So the second page of each of them. We just cross out Bill and oh, is this the first one?
Mhm.
We got Terry sign that too.
Sure.
Okay. That way we kind of keep them together. Second one. This is for change order contract 2, change order 2 to WDSI. It's for the expansion toilet accessories. We purchased additional mattresses, mirrors, and handicap bars. Total for this change, what else was on there? Grab bars, mirrors, shelves, clothes hooks, everything the jail inspector needed. So the expansion toilet accessories were $3,524.64. our recommendation would go ahead and approve change order 2-2 to WDSI.
And will, showers, 2,300 for those things? Just the shower bars, mirrors and shelves?
Oh, yeah, these are heavy duty and they have the breakaway hooks on the bottom.
I'll make a motion to approve this change order.
I'll second the motion. On a motion from Stensrud and a second from Derby to approve change order 2-2 for the amount of $3,524.64. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Fine, then.
I'll make a motion to approve this change order for $35,700, had to be done, heating and ventilation.
I'll second the motion. On a motion from Stensrud and a second from Derby to approve change order number 4-2 for the heating and cooling systems for $35,700. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Very good years. So, these are a couple of changes that came up in, as going through the facility. For additional outlets and conduits required for data and TV and for other things, and then additional conduits for TV outlets that we had to install in the wall after it was done. So, the total amount of this change, which brings to Linehan Electric, was $1,926, so I'd recommend we go ahead and approve this change order.
Now, why wasn't this in the original plans?
It was added for additional security systems and stuff. It's just stuff that that was determined by Dave and the security electronics people that they wanted to have some additional outlets and stuff for EOC, the main office, for monitoring the cameras in the jail and stuff like that.
And that's not something that should have been thought of when the plans were drawn up?
Every owner's a little bit different on what they want, Mike, when they get in there.
I'll make a motion to approve.
It's kind of like when you go into your house and you say, well, when I walk in the house, I like the outlet over here, the switch over here, so.
I'll second the motion. On a motion from Stensrud and a second from Derby to approve change order for contract number 5-4 for the amount of $1,926. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I just want to make sure I didn't screw it up. You didn't screw it up, Mike. Did you get this one done?
That one's done.
Okay.
Got one stacked up.
Make sure I'm getting screwed up. Two more and then I'm done with these.
We already approved this, in my opinion, so I'll make a motion to approve the change order for the electronics because of the expansion.
I'll second the motion. A motion from Stenshred, a second from Derby to approve change order for contract 5-3 for electronic changes because of expansion in the amount of $46,963. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Well, this meeting's going a lot better than the drainage one, probably. I'm trying to look for a parking place and going, wow. Okay, this is change order.
This is another one. We've already had this one.
Huh.
This is 1-5.
Oh, I picked up the one we already signed. I'm sorry. Golly, I'm going, wow, I could have saved myself some work, man. I think this is one that Terry just signed. Yep. I work so secret, I don't know what I'm doing some days. If I have two more, I might too. Oh, this is just Carla's copies of a completed one that was done before. This is the last one, 3-1.
Make a motion to approve this one too because of the expansion.
Yep.
Plumbing and fixtures required for the 16-bed expansion.
I'll second the motion. On a motion from Stenshred and a second from Derby to approve the change order for contract number 3-1 for the plumbing and fixtures for the 16-bed expansion in the amount of $25,000. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Find out where we're at on money and I'm gonna start going through this. You want me to start on this, Terry? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna go through this from the top. We had construction phase architect was billing $4,903.54 for construction phase. He had reimbursables of $345.82. That was mainly mileage when he came up here to do the site. While we're going over that, on line 1.6 there, Mike, change orders to date, there's a deduct of $5,000 there. I took $5,000 out of the reimbursable allowance. I don't believe we're going to use it, so I took that out and put it back into contingency. Construction management fee, we had our management fee of $6,000, on-site allowance for $8,500, reimbursables, which included mileage, postage, and printing, $442.06, and then bid document reproduction of $43.20, where we printed up the expansion plan. In this, you'll see on the on-site allowance, I increased that $21.5 to account for the additional time that might be required. I think that can be reduced. Reimbursable allowance, you can see I have a negative $2,000 there. I deducted $2,000 because I don't believe we're going to use all them reimbursable expenses. In fact, I believe we're going to have another $1,500 to $2,000 that I can deduct out of there additionally that we won't be using. General construction, they're billing $82,806.75 this month. WDSI for security is billing $36,840 for February. Jim and Dudes is billing $77,710 for February. Mechanical Air Systems is billing $39,390.80. And Lenahan Electric, $227,911.60. All the change orders that we discussed have been incorporated into this cost so that we know where we're at on our final expenses. Coming down, and thank God I believe I'm caught up on all the warrants and everything. But coming down, under job phone, we haven't had a job phone out there. We're not going to use that money, so I deducted on line 5.3. I deducted $1,500 and put that back into contingency, as we would not anticipate we're going to use that. Temporary electric, I've pulled all the warrants to date, and basically there's $656.15 that was due. That's been paid for the Public Safety Center, so that's under current amount due, but has already been paid. So it's listed on the sheet there.
Temporary electric, that's for the actual electricity then?
Electric, it has electric, water, they include everything on this city thing. Electric, water, sewer, garbage.
Oh, okay.
So it works on it. Black Hills are coming down that line. Temporary heat. There was some bills from Black Hills Energy that were paid for the Public Safety Center. Warrant 633,574 in the amount of $807.73, and then 633,313 in the amount of $61.81, for a total of $869.54 that had been paid to Black Hills for the Public Safety Center. So those have been taken out. Coming down the line, under final cleaning, that's under the GC's contract, and I figured between me, Dave, and Rick, and some other people, we get that cleaned up. I deducted $1,250 and put that back into contingency also. So, and then we had dumpster fees, the amount of $811.60 due this month for Peters. And I earned interest of $1,056.37. So going down to contingency, line item 6, under column 3, we have $51,804.42, which includes all the finishes that we've got included and all the expansion. The only outstanding things I'd have is we did under some toilets with the epoxy, might be $1,500. And what else did I talk about that might be under there? Oh, adding some intercom station at the stand to sit desk. A master station, we may have $2,500 to $3,000 there. So we should be in good shape on that end of it. But one thing that I've been putting off buying is that the high-density storage filing system and high-density shelving and gun racks for the evidence lockers and everything. Originally started up higher, but I think that you're going to need these to be put into these. There's filing systems that go on the rollers.
Right.
One filing system will hold 94 four-drawer files. So the spaces were built smaller for record storage to accommodate these. The total investment for providing everything for the laundry room, the record storage, and the evidence room was going to be $34,098. I think that we really need to go ahead and approve that and get that stuff ordered in 6 to 8 weeks out. I don't see any major bills coming, but this, I believe, is going to be critical, Pat.
So all this is in the administrative area?
No, there's some in the administrative, some in the laundry room, and for inmate clothing and items like that.
So I'm just thinking about after you open, you'll be installing some of that.
I would like to have it installed prior to the grand opening, or to the public opening.
So, I mean, if it took in 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Was that in the original plan?
No, it's something that I want that we buy. I'll try to avoid contractor overhead and markup and try to design to what the jail needs are.
It's kind of like furniture.
It is furniture, basically.
I think it's gonna give us a lot more room out there.
We've already reduced storage substantially in the laundry room and everything else by adding an expansion in, and we went to the 16 bed instead of the smaller expansion to accommodate the public needs going forward. So I think that it's going to be necessary if we're going to have storage enough without storing out in the outside building or something like that.
Well, then I'll make that motion to go ahead and get that ordered and approve the payment of. Or is that a firm figure or?
Yeah, that's a firm. I'd like to get it down lower, Mike. That's a
No, I did for the motion.
Yeah, yes.
$34,098.
That is a firm figure, yes.
I'll second that motion. Motion from Stenzer and a second from Derby to approve the track file, purchase of track file.
High density file system.
High density file system.
Mm-hmm.
In the amount of $34,098. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And it'd be our recommendation, we go ahead and approve the contractor pay application for March 1st.
Got that also.
All right, I'll second it. Motion from Stenzer, second from Derby to approve the pay requests for February. All contractors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Let's not do any more change orders. Boy, that's a lot of dang paper. Are those all done there, Terry?
This pile is.
Okay. Make sure you didn't grab your paperwork. I got enough of my own, so.
You want the HIPAA compliance stuff.
So what's your estimated date for grand opening? Would you guess?
I would say we're gonna wanna do it sometime mid-May, and
You talking about the first week of May, second week of May?
definitely by the second week. For the opening, it depends on, and then your transfer is gonna be based on what your E911
Yeah.
people and stuff are gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Which, that could be, a week after, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, well, we'll have the grand opening and then work on the transfer.
So you won't see any equipment out there necessarily, or?
No, you won't see
Not all.
prisoners, you won't see prisoners and stuff out there.
But the equipment won't be there either for the dispatch.
Should be. They should be, I'm not sure what all they're mowing, what they're not, but that's up to, I know Andy and Eric been working with them guys, but some equipment will stay here, but I want everything set up, so they shut down one day, they should be up that day. Yeah. I know that in Davis County, they shut down that morning of the 15th, they were up by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were moving inmates that night. So.
Okay.
But you have to tell me what, because you're gonna wanna move some of your stuff over there too. Here's your signed paperwork.
Pretty good.
Don't want me to interrupt.
I wasn't here.
Check your mailbox in the auditor's office. I'm sorry, I didn't say that totally correct, verbatim.
Bless you.
I'll be right back.
Gets stuffy.
Does, doesn't. I'll run over the office, John.
Okay, I'll catch you over there.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
How many bed facility is L&T then?
44.
So close to ours, but the square footage is bigger,
Yeah,
or they did the double.
they had the double tier, they added the male max and male GP upper levels over there. They had the money left over, and it's gonna be hell of a lot less expensive to do it now than try to work through the secure doors, so.
So what was their original,
4 point, they were at 5.4. And they were gonna add in, the county was going into the reserve funds for 400,000 per the public is what they were gonna do. So I think we were at 5.6 originally. It came in, when we bid all these projects, we bid them at the perfect market condition times. So theirs came in substantially under an area, and I said, well, why don't we reduce the bond amount by 300,000 because it came in so reasonable. So we reduced the bond amount by 300,000. So I think we came in the 5.2 range or something to that effect. 4.9, 5.2.
noticed, compared to engineers' estimates this year, some of our projects I've seen have been, bids are coming in slightly higher than estimates.
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. Appanese County, they went with Prohaska, one of the ones we interviewed, and they just had a bond referendum, but they're at $15 million for 40 beds. So it's dependent on who you get and how you work together as a team.
Entry is and
how you put the jail together and everything else. So I think everybody, supervisors, the committees, and everybody worked together to get this thing down. Hell, we only had 4.6, we couldn't get that passed, and we went with it, and we were able to get it done 3 years later, so. So Appanese County went through Dave, or in Centerville, and now they're wanting to talk to us about possibly seeing if we get them down to $8-9 million.
Well, City Bank and his the new police building has an $85,000 Italian, I don't know what the name of the marble is.
Yeah.
Countertop. Michael, my son works for the City Bank and he approved it. Everybody's trying to figure out how that got through. That was the chief of police thing only.
Yeah, and I think that we've used a conservative approach, an economic approach to this. And if you're not willing to do that, and watch what you're putting in, a lot of architect fees, they're open-ended. I know I had Rick lock his in. I usually do ask the architect after the construction documents, but if they put something like that in, they're earning their percentage on what they put in there. So, there's no reason to control cost. I've tried to be upfront with everybody, even when we're going through this process. This is what the cost's going to be, and this is what the difference.
my sister and brother-in-law are now moving out of the city of Ankeny.
Oh, yeah.
They've been living there for 25 years or more, I think, close to 30 years. He just bought an acreage outside of town.
Oh, well, that's good.
Because he's got too many toys. He needs a building. But I guess the rural housing market is real hot down there. They heard on Wednesday that it was going on the market on Thursday. They couldn't even get an appointment to see it till noon on Friday. They were the first ones to see it. By noon on Saturday, they were opening the bids and they ordered it by Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
There's that much demand. But yet in their neighborhood, other houses similar to theirs aren't selling nearly as fast.
Do you want that recorder turned on?
Is the meeting?
We still have one more motion on the claims.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second it.
Motion from Derby and a second from Stenger to approve the payroll claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Stand adjourned.